Hi guys, this is Chetan for Gizmo Times and you're watching a tips and tricks video of the Redmi Note 8 Pro, and that is specific to gaming. So this is the gaming tips and tricks in case you have been lucky enough to purchase this phone, and I would usually recommend this phone over most of the others in this price range for its gaming capabilities. If you're lucky enough to already buy one or are looking out to buy it in the next sale, this phone is something worth it for gaming. Firstly, that is the point. And next, if you are into gaming, if you are into games like the FPS games like the PUBG Mobile, Call of Duty, these kind of games, which actually puts up a lot of load on the GPU and the CPU of the device, you should be checking out this video fully to understand what could be done to make your gaming experience better. So this is the gaming tips and tricks video. So let's get into it and start with the tips and tricks of the display itself. So this phone comes with the IPS LCD display. So IPS LCD is okay enough, not that bad. If you compare that with the Super AMOLEDs, obviously that are better. But what you find here under display settings is firstly the option to change the contrast. So contrast is usually the colors, the warmth of the display, that is warm or cool. So here when you are trying to play the game, you should rather go to the increased contrast and then play it. You would see the colors to be a bit better, and that is my personal experience. I actually like the colors when they were on the increased contrast. So this is the first step that you need to follow here. Next, full screen mode. So if at all you're playing games apart from the PUBG Mobile and those kind of games, and if you want them to be in full screen, you have to come here and see for those games available here, like Block Puzzle Guardian, and this is one of the games, that's a Dust Settle. So these kind of games, you could just move them to full screen mode, and now you'll be able to play them in full screen and not in the regular 18:9, because this is a taller screen, and now you would want to play it on full screen, any game that would be. So that is when you would want to go to this and turn on the full screen mode. Now the major part here is about the game speed booster. So what Xiaomi has done is they have this time given a separate app under the MIUI that is called the game speed booster. In case you have a struggle in finding that out, you can go to the settings, and under settings you'll find it under the special features, and you'll see the game turbo. So game turbo is the same as the game speed booster, it's just a second name to it. It's the same thing that you find here. So the apps that you installed here that are directly shown, and you can add any game that you want. So these are the games. You can now add Call of Duty to this one. So once you add it, all the game speed booster features would be activated on that particular game. So what are those features? Let's check them out. So under settings, you have the game speed booster, which is now turned on. You can turn this off completely. So this would actually turn off the entire game speed booster in case you don't want to use it. So now coming back to it, there are in-game shortcuts which I'll show you after we show you the entire settings here. After that, the homepage orientation that can be changed in case you want this to be horizontal when you're playing the game. You can actually turn that to horizontal and change it to vertical if you don't want to have it as horizontal. So this is the basic setting here, and then this is one thing, performance mode. So under performance mode, what happens is there's bandwidth priority. So it gives more bandwidth to the games running in the foreground, and most of the bandwidth is given only to the game. The background apps don't get a lot of network usage at that time. Next is optimized touch controls, and also third one is the enhanced audio. So PUBG now has an ultra HD audio as well, but here with this performance mode, you actually get a better audio output. And apart from that, there are memory exceptions where you can have the apps always running in the background, the games, in case you want to have that as well. And this performance automation. So this is the most important part of this game speed booster. What happens is on the Redmi Note 8 Pro, the Chinese variant that we had used earlier, I had seen the phone to be touching around 48-49 degrees when playing the game for about 30 to 40 minutes. And one of the major issues is we are right now in winters. In India, when it's summers, the phone would already be on 37 to 40 degrees easily when you're not even playing the game. So when you're actually playing it, that would be even more hotter. And when there are phones like this, the Redmi Note 8 Pro, the performance would be obviously quite good, and the chipset would be trying to push whatever the performance is demanded there. So here what happens is the chipset gets heated faster. So with this option of performance optimization, you can actually avoid the overheating and hardware related issues. So I'll be doing a separate video where I'll play a game a particular game for 30 minutes, and I'll show you the temperature at the end of that 30 minutes, and then I'll turn this performance optimization on, and we'll see if the heating issues are being solved, and also if there are frame drops, if there are issues with the frame rates, because with this optimization what happens is usually the clock speeds are reduced, and that's when your experience of the gaming would be reduced. So is that the case here or not? We'll be doing that, we'll be showing that in a separate video. And apart from that, you have the hands-free calling, also the enhanced experiences, restrict selected system features when playing games. So you can turn off auto brightness. So you have this feature here where you can turn off the auto brightness, you can turn off the reading mode, you can restrict the screenshot gestures, also don't open notification shade. So these are the things that would actually make it something like the Fanatic mode on your OnePlus phones, where the entire thing is around gaming. At that point of time when you're playing a game, nothing else should be happening around, and you shouldn't have any disturbance, and the brightness should be fixed. There should not be any issues there. Reading mode should not get automatically activated in case you have it on schedule. So that thing is all controlled through here. And there is restrict buttons and gestures, so restricting buttons and full screen gestures is also possible when you're playing the game. These are additional settings. If you go into this is one important setting about the touch. So there is touch response option here, where touch resistance areas reduce touch sensitivity near the edges to avoid triggering touch controls. Hold your device by highlighting areas to keep speakers uncovered. So if you have larger hands, if you are someone who holds the phone in this way, you know that sometimes these area gets unnecessarily touched, and that would create some kind of issue while you're playing the game, some unnecessary tapping, and that can be avoided if you set it up here. It's something like the touch calibration to make the phone understand which way you're holding the phone and which way you would give some unnecessary touches to the screen. So that can be avoided through this. So this is one good thing if you try to understand what it is, and if you try to set it up properly, you'd actually get a better experience of gaming without any touch issues here. So that is all under the booster settings. Now let me start the game to show you how this works. So for example, I'll start PUBG Mobile now, and what you see here is that Game Turbo boosted successfully, and you're seeing a bar on the left corner. So this is how it gets activated. If you swipe from the left, this is the bar, the game booster bar that you see here, and the Game Turbo here is, let me reduce the volume. So Game Turbo here has all these features, and you have the sharing option for the WhatsApp, Facebook, and also the net, and that is for the sharing itself on the web. Now let me again go back to the same options. So these are the options where you have this booster. So it clears everything in the background and frees up some amount of RAM that helps you. This is the option to take a screenshot, and this is for the screen recording. One disappointment with the screen recording is that you can't record any audio, be it the game audio, be it the mic audio. Nothing can be recorded. It is just a audioless video that would be recorded here, and that is something I won't really like to do, but that's the only option that is given here. So these are the things, and you can also check out the frame rate that is present here. So what is the current frame rate on the game, and what's the CPU percentage that is also seen here. So in case you feel that your phone is getting heated up, and you feel that on the hand from the back of the phone, you can confirm the same by checking out the temperatures here. Now if you go down here, you'll see the further options here. So under these options, what you see firstly is this one, which would be floating notifications restriction. So that would restrict all the floating notifications. If you have any calls or messages, no floating restrictions would be shown. This is for the network. You can switch between the networks in case you see some lags or some issues. You can switch between them. And this option is to turn off the screen. So this turns off the screen, but the thing is here is that the game is still active. So the game hasn't closed, nothing has happened to the game. You just, in case you quickly want to turn off the screen for some time and want to keep the game still active at the same point, you can turn off the screen from here. And this is the settings which will take you back to the game booster settings. So those are the major things about the game booster or the gaming experience on the Redmi Note 8 Pro or the MIUI with the game booster features. So that's it in this video. We'll be anyway doing that test about the avoiding of overheating through the game optimization. So stay tuned for that. And in case you want us to do any other further gaming reviews with this phone, with the gameplays of Fortnite and Call of Duty, do let us know in the comments. And if you have any other doubts about this phone, do let us know that as well in the comment section below. So I hope you like this video. If you do, share and subscribe to Gizmo Times for more. Thanks for watching, and see you in our next video.